Hello, hello everyone. We have a couple of people already. We have Lilian, Paul, Anthony, Hector. Let's go. Can you hear me okay? Let's do a mic check. Is it okay? Let me know. I'm gonna do, we're gonna start easy. I'm gonna ask you a quick question. I'm gonna ask you, hi Marianne, hi Fab. I'm gonna ask you, in the last week, what was the AI tool that you used? If there was any, if there's no tool, you can say none. But in the last week, list out all the AI tools you've used. So maybe it was ChatGPT, maybe it was something else, just so that we get a sense for the tools that are out there that you're actually using. This workshop is actually going to go a bit further than just ChatGPT. We're going to talk about techniques, right? How do we take a tool like ChatGPT, or how do we take a tool like Midjourney or something else and actually go a bit further? All right, I'm seeing some Raycast. I'm seeing ChatGPT. I'm seeing ChatGPT William Site Builder. That's a good one. Claude is another one. Claude, they have Claude in French is like it's a good name, but it's not a very popular name. But it's the name of the new ChatGPT competitor, which is supposed to be really good. All right. Relume, ChatGPT, 11 labs to generate voices as well. Notion AI, Relume. Okay, we're seeing a couple of Relume, Midjourney as well. Okay, and are you guys, second quick question, and then I'll get started. Do you guys pay for any of these tools? Is this something like you're investing in? I'm just very curious, Is this something you're considering as a key to your job and you're actually investing money for it? I know that personally I'm paying for ChatGPT Plus, Midjourney as well, and I think that's it. I don't think I'm using any other tool. Yes, 100% worth it. I was on a call with Lilian right here, who told me he loved Raycast AI. So that's a tool to check out. And just so you know, I'm here presenting this workshop, but I'm also here with my co-founder Zineb right here, who'll be answering any questions you may have, as well as I will live. So feel free to just be very open about your thoughts. We're here. That's why we're doing a live session. It's to be more interactive. Titouan, hello. George, hello. Let's go. So, how are we going to do this? How are you going to do this? First, I'm just going to set the scene a bit, and we're going to talk about AI and the role of AI in web design and creating websites now, right? So just so we're on the same scene together. And then I'll actually share those 100% practical techniques you can use when you create your own websites. And if you stay until the end, of course, we have a small thing for you, a small gift. You'll be able to download everything that I've shared in this workshop to reuse, okay? Sort of cheat sheet, templates, all of it. So you don't actually need to screenshot anything. Everything will be there at the end, all right? Feel free to interrupt, just say something if you have a question, and we're here, okay? So I'm your host, I'm Ben. I have made over 500 websites in the last 10 years. I've taught web design both online and at university. And in the last 2 years, I've created 3 AI products for freelancers. One was a prompt manager, another one was a pricing copilot using AI, and the third one was actually a bit more artistic. I used AI to generate art. And so I've had a lot of fun discovering the power of AI in the last 2 years with generative AI. And everything sort of kicked off with this epiphany that I had last year when this company that you may have heard of called Framer launched Framer AI. And so Framer AI was just a very simple value proposition. It was a simple thing. It just asked you for a prompt to generate a full web page, okay? I think that was in June of 2023. So that was about like 8 months ago. And well, Framer AI, you give it a prompt, and we're actually going to see how that works in this live, in the workshop. It generates something. This thing might not be outstanding, but I think it opened my eyes about where the field of web design was about to head. Just like images, just now like with videos, with Sora from OpenAI, these tools show us that we're reinventing how we generate whether it's an image, sound, music, but also a website, and that's coming up very soon. And I think it hit me because I realized that Framer AI was very basic, but it was the beginning of something. And just like we had 3 years ago, the first DALL-E and then Midjourney, the first versions, there you laughed at the result, right? It was grotesque. It didn't work well. But in 3 years, see where it's coming now. Like this image generated with Midjourney is, you wouldn't think it was generated by a computer. And that's amazing. And so I think we're at this DALL-E phase of web design where we're just at the beginning. In 2 years, the field is going to radically change, okay? I think the key here is to think that a prompt, when you give a prompt to a generative AI, whether it's ChatGPT or another tool, you're giving it an intention. You're saying, I want this out of you, okay? And the longer the prompt, the more refined and clear your intention is. And so I think this hits us as designers as something that is very close to our job. And why is that? Well, design, etymologically, historically, the word came from dessin, which has two meanings in French and in Latin, which is both dessin, the intention, and dessin, which is the drawing. And so as a designer, when you're designing something, you're intentioning something and putting a visual for it. So that's why we have fashion designers, just like we have a graphic designer or system designers. And so when we're giving an intention, it's like we're prompting something, right? And so this idea that when prompting is in fact designing something, I think that's an idea that as designers we have to take on our side, right? We have to really embody in a way. And so I think the right way to look at it is that AI can actually help us define our intentions, because at first our intentions are never very clear. We have to understand them. First, so it helps us with the definition of intention, but it also helps us visualizing these intentions. It has sort of this dual goal, or it can help us really in these two ways, I think. And so why am I talking about this? Well, as web designers, well, our job is kind of it requires a lot of roles, right? And wait, before I move on, I just want to do a quick check. Like, is that idea of AI actually as a sort of design copilot, is that something that speaks to you? Had you heard of the etymology of the word design before? Let me know in the chat. Théo Roland is here, Fab is here. Okay, guys, is that something that speaks to you? This idea of using AI to help you define your intentions and visualize them? Is that an idea that was like completely out of your head, or is that something you resonate with? I'm just gonna slow down a tiny bit and see your answers. Let me know what you think. We're a couple here. We're about 30 people, 36. Prompting equal designing. All right. Yes, Theo is here. Theo can empower us. So let me show you my team. I have a team actually when I create new websites, and I still create a few new websites for other people or for myself. And well, I have 4 people on my team. I have a graphic designer, I have a copywriter who helps me with the content, I have a project manager to deal with the client, and I also have a developer who will help me out with pieces of code. The thing is, when you create a website, it's actually a whole project, right? It requires input from many people, from people who are experts in, let's say, the visual aesthetic, but also from your client. And so we're never completely by ourselves when we create a website. Let me be clear, these people are actually not real. I've made them up. I've generated them with Midjourney, with the last version 6.0, 6.1, I think. And so let me introduce you to my virtual team of people who help me create my websites. We have Gustavo, we have Anna, and Alexi. I kind of broke down their tasks because when we create a website, we go through a lot of small decisions, but we also have to do things that don't actually relate to our job that much, right? Thinking about SEO as a web designer is usually not what you like to think about. But with my virtual team, when I break down all these tasks into things that they do for me, well, we're getting a sense for how AI can actually empower us, right? We're thinking about, okay, writing a blog post, thinking about SEO, defining the colors, defining the basic custom effects that we would do with code. All of these things are things that you might hassle with when you're a web designer, but that AI or an AI, a tool, can actually help you out with. So our job is pretty complex, and we can leverage AI for each of these tasks. And in this workshop, now that I've sort of set the frame, in this workshop, we're actually going to focus on 5 of these tasks that we usually go through as web designer, and I'm going to add a bonus one at the end. Okay? So this is about what the workshop is about. I'm seeing the comment here. Yes, because I heard you explaining it in the atomic design training. Yes, I did a course with Elliot Meunier, and we talked about atomic design. And then it helps us improve our speed and quality. Perfect. All right, so let me get started with the first technique. One thing that I love doing when I start a new website is actually use a website auto-generator, just like Framer AI that I'm going to show you, to get a sense for what the expectations of people in general would want to see in a website. Why am I doing this? Because usually, as a designer, you might want to start thinking about the creative or visual aspects first, but it's good to ground things into something that will actually be useful for the visitors of our website. And so by just prompting the tool with, okay, I'm doing a website to sell something, it will help us guide with the overall theme, maybe the call to action, the CTA that we should take for the website. It's just going to give me the expectations. That way I can go further than the expectations and make a website that actually delights. And so how are we going to do this? For the first technique, what I'm actually going to ask you in the chat is to give me a prompt or give me a website that you want to make, a page that you want to make, and we'll use it for the demo, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and then I'll pick in the chat the one that is the most potentially promising. So the first example that I can give you to create for this example might be, let's create a website for a bakery, and we want to sell baguettes, and we are we have one product to sell, which is the baguette, and it costs €3. Very expensive baguette because it's a great baguette. That's one example. Another one, we could pick, I don't know, a portfolio for a photographer who shoots wedding pictures and is, I don't know. Let me know in the chat a prompt that you would like to see me using. So I'm currently in Framer, and I have created an AI demo page. And so when I press Command K, you see AI generate page, and we can actually see like examples of prompts that we could use. So let me see. Okay. Midjourney and other tools are incredible. A website to sell potatoes, but excellent ones. Okay. All right. All right. We could make a website to sell potatoes. That sounds good. Let's do it. So, simple page to sell premium potatoes premium potatoes. We want to have a premium look and feel with yellow as the accent color. Our call to action is buy 100 potatoes. And we want a section describing the history of our company. Maybe this is the sort of brief that you get as a freelancer from your client, like a very simple pitch like this. All right, I'm gonna start here. So, all right, premium potatoes at your doorstep. So you can see that Framer does a couple of things. First, it's creating the HTML and CSS so that we actually have a working website. It creates the different variants for desktop, phone, tablet. It creates the copywriting, but also finds pictures which are completely not related. So those pictures are placeholders, and it creates this layout that we can reuse. As you can see, the website was just generated, and I can actually try different color palettes and see which one I like most. I can also change the fonts. And yeah, the text font. Okay. So what is this? Well, first, there's two things I want to highlight. First, it gives us a bit of content or expectations, okay? So that's first point. Second thing is, it also shows us that web designers right now, if this is like the most advanced tool that's out there, we have some slack. We have a couple of months, if not a year or two, before AI really takes our jobs. Like, this is not good, right? This is like probably a client pays for us because we can do better than this, right? But still, it gives us an idea of where we are right now with the state of AI, okay? So that's the first thing that I wanted to share. The second technique I want to share is something that I love doing with my with clients when I have consulting clients. When I have clients, I actually go through this sort of back and forth to define what do they actually want, what's the intention of the website. And one of the steps of this back and forth to define the website is thinking about the visual, the aesthetic of the website. So one thing that I do now is I have this GPT that I share with, it's right here, this GPT that I created, which I share with clients, and they actually go back and forth with the GPT to define what they want for their website. And so let me show you how it works. just a bit of a disclaimer, using a custom or creating a custom GPT is a paid feature of ChatGPT. It costs $20 a month for the Plus version. So it's going to ask me a couple of questions like, what's the name of the project? What is it for? So I am selling potatoes and I want it to feel premium and sell to rich French people. And then it's going to keep on asking me questions about the brand. And I'm going to show you how I've configured the GPT so that it is exactly what I want it to do with my clients, right? This is my own method that I use with my clients. And so in a way, as like a freelance web designer, I've productized myself a tiny bit because I've actually just did this back and forth with the client, created a GPT which they can reuse. And I think we're going to see that a lot more in the coming month, where freelancers sort of like clone themselves into these more clever questionnaires to onboard their clients. And so right now, yeah, I could continue and say, okay, I want like a probably like personal or friendly website brand with probably like high energy, and just going to keep on asking these questions. Let me show you exactly the prompt behind this. So now, like it's been a couple of months now that we're able to create our own GPTs, which are where we pre-prompt, we give these instructions, and basically the ChatGPT that you know, we make it our own by giving it custom instructions, which can be super helpful, for example, when you work with clients. And so I'm basically giving it the steps for the GPT to follow so that it helps us define the aesthetic of the website. And at the end, I actually say, once all of it is finished, and I agree to finish as the user, you will generate a PDF that recaps the brand aesthetic. And I could even add here and send it to Ben at supercreative.io or something along those lines, right? I can take it even further. So this is very powerful. And I've started doing this with branding clients. This is the second technique. I'm just going to do, again, a tiny bit of a little pause, and I want to ask you, like, what's your usage of ChatGPT? Are you actually using GPTs at all or not? That's my first question. And yeah, is that something you would see yourself actually using with a client or with yourself? Maybe you're cloning yourself to just chat with another version of yourself. Let me know. And then I'll move on to the third technique. So Paul says, another Arc lover. Yeah, I've been using the Arc browser for like a year and a half since it launched. This is so cool, Lilian says. Thank you. I think yeah, I can picture you use it, Lilian, for sure. Website for stand-up paddle, surf, for booking lessons and rent materials. Already done. Nice. I suspect personal projects. Leo, create a landing page for non-profit that is protecting giant sequoia trees and educating the public about them. Very nice. You're obsessed with baguettes. I am obsessed with baguettes. All right, let me move on to the next one. Technique number 3. We want, as web designers, usually one of the things we don't like think about is SEO, right? We've made this great website and now we have to make sure it ranks really well on search engines. And so I'm just going to show you how to prompt ChatGPT, whether you have the Plus version or the normal version, so that the output is much better, right? And so this is what I call race prompting, like a race. So let me show you how it works. Whoop, I'm just gonna go back here. So, okay, I'm going to, well, let's do it together. let me take one of the examples that we talked about before, or that you shared in the chat, and I will try to think of a great prompt to help us with the SEO of that potential website. So let's take the example of, which one do you think is best? Maybe probably let's do the stand-up paddle, the surf. Let's do this one. So when I prompt ChatGPT, let me go back to normal ChatGPT. This is what I do. I write RACE, and this is an acronym that I use again and again for me to not forget what it means. R means role, okay? A means action, C means context, and E means examples. All right, so role. It makes a big difference when you're on ChatGPT or when you're on an LLM, a large language model, just like ChatGPT, maybe you're using Claude or something else, to actually say, this is your role. This is what you're going to help me out with. And so if we're talking to, if we want to do something great with SEO, we're going to say, you are the world's expert in SEO. And in fact, it's great to interact with our prompt or our ChatGPT afterwards as if they were real people, right? We're not, it's like after we've set the context, it's really good to actually almost embody them or envision them as real people, just like I did with the examples of my copywriter, my graphic designer, because you'll see that the way you ask questions actually improves the quality of answer when you do this iterative process as if they were a real human. I'll show you what I mean in a second. You're the world's expert in SEO and copywriting. Okay, that's the role. Action. Help me rewrite this website this page so that it ranks great on search engines. Context. I am building a website for, what was it? What was the example? It was the surf, the paddle. I'm building a website for paddle surf enthusiasts so they can book sessions, surfing sessions with us. You can go like super deep here. You can say the shop is in France, Rosegor. We're a team of 3. And I encourage you to actually give a lot of context. It's like the Mid-Journey example I gave you earlier. The longer the prompt and more defined it is, with a version like ChatGPT 4, which is really impressive, it will grasp what is key and what is less important. And then examples. So here you can either give out the page that we have already written, but what you can also do is give examples of, first, let's do it here. Let's search for paddle surf France. Okay, and let's check the first stand-up paddle, sorry. Let's check the first example. Since this came out first, let's probably do, okay, there you go. The second example, I think this will be a bit better. Actually, okay, it doesn't seem like a great website or a great page, but still, I'll use it. And just go back here to ChatGPT and say, this is a page that ranks top of Google. Check the keywords to potentially reuse. And you can actually give it out the link so that it checks out as a good example of something that ranks well. And so this, let's see what the output is here. I can actually give you another example that I had. Again, one of the things that we want to think about is this is an iterative process, iterations. This might not please us at first sight, but just like if you were actually working with someone that gave you a first draft, this is a first draft. So like we shouldn't expect too much either of a ChatGPT just because it's trying its best in a way, right? I know I'm anthropologizing the notion of GPT and putting it as if it was a real person, but it actually helps us interact and get better quality output as well. So let's say now that this doesn't make sense, or I want it to go a bit further, what I can ask is create 3 variations of this with 3 different angles and perspectives. So I'm basically saying, okay, this was a good first draft, show me something else. And I think that it's always a good, almost a good reflex to have, a good habit to have, is say, okay, this is the race method, right? Role, action, context, examples. And then we diverge. We're going to ask 3 different things. And then we're going to prompt ChatGPT to actually say, which one is the best, do you think? And let's focus on this one. And when you actually go to on this phase of like going precise, then outward, and then converging, the output always seems to be much better because it has generated all this content that it reuses as the beginning of the prompt. So it gets better and better and better. So having a multi-shot prompting strategy actually makes a big difference, especially when we're dealing with a lot of crucial content for our website or for SEO. Okay, so I'm going to move onwards and just see a bit what you guys are talking about in the chat. How are you doing the split video for this talk? I'm using OBS, yes. Now, finding the right trade-off between SEO is often tricky. That's right. Great. So hopefully that was useful for you. And I'll just move on to the next technique. Let us know in the chat. Zinab is here typing away if you have any questions, and I'll try to answer them. The 4th technique to move on is when we define, okay, we're in the stage. Let's put ourselves in the same context. We're in this, we're dealing with a client who kind of knows the aesthetic of the website, but not really. And we have to generate great illustrations. We have to create pictures for the team. We have to create a bunch of stuff which will help our website be more visually compelling. One thing that I love to do now is to go on websites like these ones that I'm going to show you to see what is potentially, what you can potentially create with a generative AI like Midjourney or like DALL-E. So this is a website called midlibrary.io that lists out the artists and their styles that have been taken into account by Midjourney when it was training its algorithm. So why is this important? Just a few days ago, I was asking Midjourney to create a new type of image with an artist that it did not identify, and it was not able to do the aesthetic that I wanted. Here, it's a bit of a different approach. You're saying, oh, I love this aesthetic that I would love to, for example, reuse on my website. And so it's basically going to give you the name of the artist online that you can be inspired by to make a new a new image. So you're basically doing it the other way. Instead of thinking, oh, I want this style. No, you're starting from existing styles to get inspired and say, oh, maybe I want something in the style of Anne or Agnès, right? You can do the same with a website on Midjourney. On Midjourney, something I love to do is just that you don't need to pay for this. You can just go on the Discord of Midjourney and see all the images that other people create. And I think that for me, that's always very inspiring to see like people, for example, here are creating background images for their website, for their hero. You can actually do that, right? It opens the field of what's possible when you see other like people who use it pretty hardcore to create your own stuff. Wait, that's another great example. Look at this. This would make for a great mock-up to reuse. I love this. So just browsing around, I think, gives us a sense for, wow, we could actually have this aesthetic on our websites too. I know that as a web designer, I've been, using Adobe Illustrator. I know my skills in illustration. And when I start a website, I'm usually in the mindset of, it's going to be cumbersome. It's going to be difficult for me to create something better than my own skills. But that's because I'm not like in the AI mindset that we can actually go much further with a great prompt or on ChatGPT or on Midjourney. Another of these platforms that I think are great to get a sense for the aesthetic that you can reuse on your own website is a website called PromptBase. PromptBase has been the de facto, the default platform for buying prompts and selling prompts. So there's a whole market around this now. And it supports tons of different models like Midjourney, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion. So if you're using just Midjourney, you'll find Midjourney prompts on there. So again, super inspiring to see, how far can I take my own website's aesthetic with this? So that is something that I love to do when I start a website. How is this going in the chat? Great. Prompt libraries. All right, moving on to technique number 5. As web designers, a lot of us are actually we're freelancers, or we work with clients that, or in an agency, but we need to scope our website, our work, so that we can give a good, either a price or time estimation for how much the website that we're about to build is going to take. This is a website that I want to show you called InstaPrice, where there's this part called the pricing copilot. And just like you would interact with a ChatGPT, you can ask it questions related to your project. And so I'm a bit biased here because I actually helped design and build InstaPrice. But I'm using it myself, right? For scoping the websites that I'm about to build. Even though I don't have clients, it gives me good questions to ponder with and say, okay, I'm probably gonna have to think about CMS integration and what else. It asks me all the right questions to scope out, basically. It's like the good project manager in a way. And so I'm going to say, for example, a website for selling, I'm going to stick with selling potatoes. All right, to provide you with an accurate quote for your website, I need to gather some details. So scope and features. What specific features do we want? For example, a shopping cart. Yeah, we might want a shopping cart. cart, payment, gateway. Second, we want design. Do you have already a design? No, we have to create the design from scratch. And as you can see, these questions are almost the questions that a freelancer or you as a freelancer might ask your client. But asking them yourself is actually a great way to scope out the project. So I'm just going to go forward here, see what it says. It seems like the message got off. Okay. Basically, at the end, I'll do another example that's probably faster to show. Mobile app dev. Yeah, it is going to analyze this default project by default. Up. And then as you can see, it sort of figures out what you should charge as a freelancer, whether you're making websites or web apps. And what's interesting here, okay, it gives us an estimated price, but also an estimated duration, which is interesting. So we can reuse this or not, but at least we have a data point, which is a good data point. So I love this. Afterwards, you can download the quote, send it to your client, or not. You can just have this and put it on your own invoice, and that's already pretty good. So yeah, the AI Copilot is now a great thing to use. If you want to try it out, it's free. Last technique. Are you ready? This one is a shocker. It will shock you. So let's do something. Now, it's probably my favorite one. Okay. I've made this website a couple of days ago, and I want feedback. I want to make it better. So what I'll do is I'll take a screenshot of this, and using ChatGPT, I'm just going to upload the screenshot, and I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to do the screenshot for every part. Okay, a couple of screenshots, whoop. Probably 3 or 4 will suffice. Up. Okay. And the final one, maybe the footer. Okay. I'm just giving it a screenshot. There's another way to take a screenshot of the whole thing, but usually the quality is not good, so the pixels, so it can't read out. So now, again, using the race prompting sort of methodology, I'm going to ask it to roast my landing page and make it much better. So let me do it again. RACE, roll. You are a professional web designer and copywriter. Action. You will roast my landing page. Screenshots attached. Context. We are building a school to get jobs AI ready. Examples, I think, see screenshots. Doing this has, for me, opened my eyes in many regards. First, because I use it for my own designs. Let's put the roasting glasses and take a look at what we've got here. First, we've got a landing page that screams, we've discovered the blur tool and we're not afraid to use it. Remember, it's to the left and giving you the best blue steel look. Right, so it's making an analysis of our faces on the video here. And it says that it's probably we look too serious. Moving on, the see how button is ambiguous as a horoscope. See how. So when you ask it to roast you, you're asking it to remove the filters and go a bit like beyond the usual ChatGPT niceties of, oh, you can be no. It's giving you the raw thing. And I agree, like probably the see how, probably we could have a better CTA here. when we're asking it to roast us, it's giving like removing the filters, and that's really good. The footer. So actually, I like a lot of these. I've done this with this website before, and I actually improved a lot of the website like that. And I did the same, just as a fun fact, with my LinkedIn profile. You can just take screenshots of your LinkedIn profile, say that you're an expert in LinkedIn and personal branding, and roast my profile. And then it broke down everything that I should do to make my profile much better. And those are, I think, really good suggestions. So that was just a fun little thing to do to actually help you make better websites. So now, how did I actually use this in my day-to-day? In Surprise, I told you, I actually created the tool a couple of months ago, and I used AI at different points. First, In Surprise is a name that I generated actually with ChatGPT. So that was really good. I also reviewed all the typos with ChatGPT. I just took everything, and I asked it to correct any mistakes that I may have. That's probably something you already do. The idea to use orange as the accent color was actually generated with an AI. The incredible thing that happened here was I was saying to the LLM, I think it was something else than ChatGPT. I think I was using, I think it might have been Mistral's generative AI that I tried. And I said that I was working on a calculator for freelance prices, and I wanted the aesthetic to feel like it was a calculator. And it made the suggestion that I should use the orange just like the calculators from the 70s by Brown, by Dieter Rams. And so that was like an idea that the LLM helped me have, and I think really encapsulates now the feeling for Enterprise. So that was a great suggestion. And I also had a review by ChatGPT, just like I showed you. The field of web design, as you have seen, so whether it's breaking down all these tasks and going further with ChatGPT or something else, a Midjourney or any other tool, that's already impressive and already very empowering. But in many ways, our field as a whole is also going to change, as we talked about in the beginning with Framer AI, and like this next phase of web design is not going to be anything like before. Probably the web, which created web design, was the first phase, and this is the second phase. And you're probably on Twitter, LinkedIn, email, you're seeing this AI talk nonstop. But I don't think we're talking about AI just enough, because it's actually going to change our jobs a lot more than we are actually realizing. And so in this mindset of trying to get ready for AI, I've actually started working with Zineb right here on a program to actually get web designers to the next phase, to become super web designers with AI. And so that's something I want to present to you right now. It's this idea that we're going to take probably 3 weeks, not probably, it's going to be 3 weeks, 21 days. Every week we're going to have a live session where we're going to see exactly how to implement, how to reinvent our workflows with AI. And every day you'll have a challenge to solve, to actually give something, be in the practical, not just the theoretical, and you'll get feedback at every stage of the way. So this is sort of the basis of this program we're about to launch. And we have we want to provide basically the best experience possible for someone who wants to be AI ready as a web designer. So you'll have downloadables to use, you'll have access to a support group, and at the end of the 21 days, you know how to make a website, but this will truly change the way you think about your job at its core. And the way we're doing this is with this method, which we which we call the side school method, right? The on the side by side. So we use the word side all the time. And so first, the first brick of our method is important. We're not asking anyone to stop their jobs. We're asking them to continue their jobs and learn on the side, right? So maybe it's 5 minutes today, maybe it's 20 minutes in 2 days when I have more time. This flexibility is needed when you're a professional and you have clients and you have kids and you have a busy schedule. The second thing that we really think really hard about is the fact that we want to have peer-to-peer corrections. We want to feel like everyone's learning side by side, that you're going to have feedback along the way. And at the end, for those who are interested, we're actually going to celebrate together. And so if you're interested, if this is something you're like, oh, that sounds good, I'm going to make an offer to you. You make a website, you know how this works. We have one of our first programs starting in 2 weeks, March 25th. It's going to last 21 days with weekly calls. And the price point that we're sharing the program with is $500. But if you're in this workshop, we're actually making a really nice offer, and we're giving you $250 off, which you can use until Wednesday. So you have a couple of hours to make the decision. We know we're putting a deadline so that you can take a decision. You should see right now in the chat the link to learn more. And on this link to learn more, you'll be able to see the full curriculum, the overview, some of our past students, what they say about the program, and you can either use the code right there, or if you want to ask more questions, there's a big button that says book a time, and we'll chat together if this is something you're interested in and have more questions about. That's it. I would love now to share with you the goodie that I promised with all the resources. Normally, you should see in the chat a link to sign up to get the goodie, so that we can send it off to you directly. We're asking, I think, like 5 questions just before, which are simple questions, just so we get a sense for how you liked the workshop. And so the goodie link will be posted in a second. And now I would like to open it to you. If you have any questions, whether it's on the workshop or on the program that I showed you for the last 7 minutes together, feel free to put it in the question. I will drink some water in the meantime. And yeah. Excellent. Okay, so I'll read some of the comments. Instaprice, says Theo. Theo was a great help in promoting Instaprice. Thank you so much, Theo, for being here. Is it possible to have my company pay for it, or is it only B2C? Both are possible. That's right. Most importantly, yeah, the workshop. So you'll see in the chat right here the code that you can use to get 250 off. To the thing about behaviors interaction to push further than. All right, so we have a question by Ryan. How can we push the tool to think about behaviors and interactions that push further than other page builders like Squarespace? All right, so Ryan, just to clarify, were you talking about which part were you talking about? Was it one of the techniques specifically, or was it something else? Does it work as well as this in French language? So we gladly welcome French people in our program, if that was your question. But the program for that I showed here will be in English. But yeah. And Zineb is giving me a side. It's true. We're going to open up French speaking programs very soon too. Thank you for sharing this amazing. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you, Theo. Thank you so much. Do you think AI will take away web designers' job at the end? What do you think is critical for designers to have as AI develops more? Great question, Amy. So, I was just on a call with another web designer who also uses AI a lot, and I think there's something crucial about designers that other jobs might not have. If we go back to the etymology of design, which is intention setting, I think we'll always need people to help us with intentions. And maybe a ChatGPT can help, but having the physical connection of someone saying, oh, probably this isn't right because I know you and this is better, and this is a powerful interaction. And as the designers, this is also our strength. So just in this process of intention setting and back and forth with the client, for ourselves, I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. If not, like the opposite, with this idea of prompting, we actually have we're going to see a lot more designers, I think, appear. Now that I've said that, I think junior web designers who just make very simple websites, just like the ones we might have seen in this first AI Framer AI, which is just the first version. It's true that I think we'll see probably go away in the coming month. I think what we'll see is the websites that cost maybe $1,000, $2,000 to create because it's just setting up a WordPress or something like that. These type of low-end projects will actually, I think, disappear. But the higher-end projects where you are interacting with a professional and you're really getting something to stand out, I think this is not going away now or for the next couple of years. I think the AI web designer is really much a thing. I actually completely believe in what I'm saying here. The field is radically going to change. Yeah. Next question. I was talking about Framer AI and web design tools. There's so much focus on the visual output, but I believe to become very successful for branding, I should think about interactions and behaviors. Yes, I think that this is, as you said, probably we're just in the very early stage of these generative web builders. And as we go along and we start having more defined prompts and more in-depth prompts, we can actually, I think we're gonna go really far because all of this code that is generated, there's billions and billions and billions of lines of code available for free online that these LLMs, large language models, will be able to have as training for making these tools amazing. So I think that is something that we'll see coming, even more advanced interactions and behaviors. Do you have to pay in ChatGPT to be able to upload screenshots or make or generate files? Yes, you do. Great question. I did put it here. I should have emphasized it more. I think for $20, it's I don't know where you're from, but it's probably the cost of a lunch, or I think it's worth trying 1 month, give it a try and see how much it helps. For us, because our job is visual, I think it's really crucial that you at least see what GPT-4 is about and what this multimodal version offers, the fact that you can upload pictures and things with. And I'll take a last question and then we'll wrap it up. Do I need a paid plan with ChatGPT for this course? So we are actually going to use more advanced methods, and so I think it's something that is better. But here's a crucial thing to know: tools come and go, technique stays, right? And what we're going to learn in this course is actually it can be applied with many different tools. So at no point will I say, oh, just use ChatGPT. No, you use the tool that you think is best. And so it doesn't matter that much. And what website tool will we use, Framer or something else? Again, that is actually completely up to you. We'll offer a list of resources and say, oh, maybe this is better for you. But at the end, it's your tools, you decide. And it works with any tool. Thank you so much. If you have any other questions, again, feel free to go on this page, the AI for Web Designers, and just read more about the program. Take a call with us if you need, and apply the reading code if you want to be part of the next batch. Thank you so much. I hope to see you very soon.